Welcome back to the European League of Legends Championship Series Spring Split Finals. 12 weeks of games have taken us down to one last battle between Fnatic and the Unicorns of Love. The winner will be crowned the Spring Split champion.
Yeah, I still can't believe we're saying Unicorns of Love in the final, and now Game 5 potentially going to MSI. The last game, perfect. Like, there's nothing else to say for Unicorns of Love. They knew everything they had to do. Fnatic got so punished for picking that Kassadin with no wave there, no pressure in that mid lane. And Unicorns just showed what to do against it. Question is now, what do Fnatic ban? Do they stick to the same Cassiopeia, Morgana, and Annie? And then try and first pick maybe the Thresh away from Hylissang? Or will Sivir be the first pick? Because that pick, it just snowballs the whole game if you have a slow scaling like Kassadin.
Well, I think we're about to find out as we will get into picks and bans shortly. The one thing I also want to highlight, I'm going to just rag on it again, 14 games, we've seen a Smite teleport top laner. Of those 14 games, 9 of them have been losses. It's a 36% win ratio.
Yeah.
I am still not convinced. There is so much importance in getting ahead early on that summoner spell choice and champion choice. It simply doesn't work out. Again,
yeah.
I think Unicorns of Love responded well to the Shyvana.
Sure.
I mean, they played around it. Let's keep that in mind. But I still think, give Huni Rumble. It was available.
Yeah.
Go with that comp.
If I'm Fnatic, I first pick the Sivir. I give Hylissang his Thresh, even though he was great on it in the last game. And I run a composition that can dive that backline from the Unicorns of Love, dive onto Power of Evil and Vardar. So you run Sivir as a first pick. You take that Rumble in the last rotation for yourself as well. Gragas and Sejuani, one of them will be open for your jungle pickup. For Reignover, if you want more CC and more setup that way, Gragas Rumble doesn't really fit too well together though, so you would most likely aim for the Sejuani.
Yeah.
But there are so many options for Fnatic if they want a comp that can kill Power of Evil and Vardax, who are the main carries. If you look at the setups from Unicorns of Love, it's very often tank top lane, tank a jungler in some sort of way, unless it's a Shaco.
Yeah.
And then you have the 2 carries in Power of Evil and Vardax.
We will find out as we load up into picks and bans for the very last time in the European Spring Split. Please remember that TSM versus Cloud9 will follow
Sivir
our
coming
best of
again.
5 into Fischio. The question you had, will the bans change? The answer is no, but Sivir first pick for Fnatic.
Yeah, so they don't mind giving Hylissang his Thresh because Sivir has been so important between these two teams here. I was just looking at them when they walked back on stage. Both teams smiling, laughing, you know, having a bit of fun. Despite having to play the Game 5 now of the EU LCS finals, nobody seemed nervous. They all seem very cool. And therefore, I'm not expecting any nerves, honestly, going into this game. I think both teams are now settled on the stage, gotten used to the crowd. Let's see who's the best.
Glad you think so, because I'm still getting used to this crowd. They have been phenomenal all weekend long, and both series going to 5, both semi-final series going to 5. We have been so fortunate with our Spring Split playoffs. The first 2 lock-ins, there's engaged, there's disengaged, there's a beefy front line. It is the ingredients of success the Unicorns have run before.
It is the start of a poke composition with the way Unicorns normally draft, with the Braum now as disengage for them. But that's most likely what Fnatic wants them to play. Sejuani is open now for Reignover. If you go Sejuani, Sivir, and then you can pick Nautilus even as a support, you have so much dive on the Unicorns of Love. And we know they like to pick the slow scaling mid laners in that comp. Sivir is gonna stop that from happening and just force fights on you. I would have gone Sejuani, Nautilus here if I'm Fnatic. Could also just take early Rumble, but I was expecting that to come later, honestly. Don't think they had to show it already.
They have, and Reignover, as well as Huni, you just saw their faces on camera.
But this is what we talked about with the Rumble. Don't play this Shyvana top when all you want to do is kill Power of Evil and Vardax. This does give Sejuani for Unicorns of Love. And Rumble Gragas, it is somewhat of a weird combo. One missed ulti from Reignover can honestly move people out of the equalizer from Febiven. But I guess maybe they were afraid of Unicorns taking it and just packing like full disengage. New AD carry for Vardax, he realizes, okay, if I play Jinx, I'm gonna melt in every fight. I have to take something with mobility, something that can peel for itself. That's gonna be the illusion here for him. But Unicorn, such a beefy setup.
We need to see how they round out their team composition. Power of Evil, once again, last pick. We'll see what he decides to run in that mid lane. Fnatic have got 20 seconds left to round out their team composition.
That works too. That works too.
All sorts of engage and damage. Yellowstar going back to, honestly, his first signature champion.
Yeah.
When he transitioned to support, he was a few years ago. A few seconds, swapping it out. It wasn't Nautilus you expected earlier.
Yeah.
It will fulfill a similar sort of role.
Close to calling it. Close. They just swapped it around a little bit and took Gragas over the Sejuani. If Unicorns log in Orianna, it is very, very safe. It's very late game focused from them. Long, drawn out team fights where you kite, you dodge the all in from Fnatic. The problem is it takes such a long time to scale.
Except it doesn't when the game 4 happens and they get 3-man Glacial Prisons at 15 minutes.
True, but that was against a Kassadin in the mid lane. It's a lot easier to push against him and fight against him than compared to an Ahri, compared to a Rumble. Look at the scaling between Shyvana top and Rumble. You spike so much earlier with the early magic penetration. Fnatic are looking to fight against the Unicorns a lot and say, if you want to go full late game, we're going to make sure you never reach it. This is going to be SK versus Unicorns again as a game 5. SK with the early game, the one they want to snowball. Unicorns with the late game scaling. They want to hold off. They want to try and trade towers for dragons, get the gold needed, and then pull off a shockwave here and there. Maybe get a pentakill as well, because why not? We're going to game 5 anyway. And you owe me a kiss.
We'll have to hold off on that one as we do see the trophy one last time. Daylor and Sheepy leaving the stage as their teams will do battle. Again, for the very last time on Summoner's Rift in the Springs, but the winner, 90 championship points, is one step closer to Worlds, and they will represent Europe on the international stage at the mid-season invitational. You have one last chance to jump on Twitter. Tell us who you think will win. The crowd on your screen right now has believed in the Unicorns of Love all day long. You at home screaming their name as well. Fnatic are looking to make it 4. Unicorns looking to prevent that.
Look at the start here from Huni. 1 armor and 5 potions. That's very standard if you want a lane swap on it. So Fnatic potentially setting up for that. And then I would assume they're going for a fast push to try and end the laning phase as early as possible and not allow Unicorns to sit back with some defensive wards and just farm it for 15-20 minutes. We're gonna have to see what they do. Otherwise the cloth armor is not gonna do a whole lot against the Maokai. That would have been a Ruby Crystal if you were aiming for the one-on-one setup for Huni. Placing that deep ward here to see, no, just placing Yellowstar. He has no ward. So
well, we did say there's nothing he can't do. He wants to be a ward. Hell, he can be a ward. We do see that Huni continues to sit up in that top lane, and Vardags and Hylissang are in fact the duo lane that's swapping away. So Fnatic reading the situation well.
Yeah, exactly. This Fnatic just expecting or predicting the swap from Unicorns of Love. And will have that cloth armor 5 potion Rumble to sit and be a whole lot beefier. And also what you can do now, because you got so much sustain with the potions, you can be pretty greedy walking in trying to get a last hit, make sure you're always in XP range, and then you got the 5 potions and a teleport to keep yourself healthy. Maokai won't have the same luxury in the bottom lane. He's obviously going to do the camp and get the level 2. Huni's just going to help Rain over.
I sincerely hope you guys at home can hear that. It's 5,000 people chanting Huni's name. I'm fortunate enough to be able to see his face from where I'm standing, and it is as cold as ice. You can see it on the player cam, bottom left. The only focus is on the prize, is on the title. And we'll see who comes out ahead in this lane swap. Early ward here from Hylissang. We'll move into the jungle. Blue buff was secured by Rainover already. And we do see Hylissang is gonna
might be caught out.
Stun up Huni in a second.
Here's
this
Chachi.
Is a teleport from Vizichachi. He's gonna go very aggressive at level 2. That's a flash away from Huni. Sapling goes out. He's not gonna be able to get the stun again. Ignite is ticking. 100 hit points. That's it. And Hylissang's gonna tank it up. Unicorns of Love with a massive play to secure first blood. But keep in mind, Chachi did not get an assist.
No, and he's not going to get any farm or anything on the bottom lane. Yellowstar And Steelbike can now push it in. You see them already grouping up the minions, just making sure they can deny everything from Chachi. Not sure how Huni was caught out in the river instead of just walking through the lane to his own tower after spotting the two guys on top. But all these minions are gonna die. And there's nothing Chachi can do about it. He's gonna try and see if he can go for another kill on Huni and simply say, if I'm not getting farm, you're not getting farm either.
Wow, there's no flash available for Huni, so if he puts himself in a dangerous position, possibility is there. The duo of Lucian and Braum almost guaranteed to get those stuns. Thanks to Hylissang's passive, those concussive blows, but Huni is not gonna get close enough to get caught out, I believe. You can see Yellow Star's coming up to respond. Will they get the tower? Let's keep an eye on that HP. Down to about a third. The minions are slowly being killed away. I think Huni should be able to get some flame spitter damage and clear them out before the tower's secured.
Super good response from Fnatic. Defending the tower and Chachi still sitting there, gaining absolutely nothing. He has to recall and walk all the way back to the bottom lane if he wants any farm. And really, even if the lane swap ends early, I think that's what Fnatic wants anyway. So by them fast pushing the bottom lane and Unicorns fast pushing top, it's okay for Fnatic, because they don't want Unicorns to sit back and farm for 15 minutes. They want to force fights. You have an RF, you have the pick potential, you got the Rumble, you got the Sivir. I mean, you got so many ways of starting fights, and you have so many strong early to mid-game champions. Sejuani, the only one getting farm on the bottom side, forcing a flash as well.
Jungler's
Power of Evil.
Very impactful thus far.
And you saw how safe that gank was because they knew Kikis was sitting bot lane to take the wave. So they could go for that gank in mid lane and not have to fear for anything. They can even take a second one. Kikis gonna try his luck on the bottom side though. Will be spotted.
Wow, that flash body slam wasn't able to connect with Power of Evil.
That was a little bit. He didn't time the minion waves either from Reignover. There was no way for Fitman to charm him because the minions were walking in front of Power of Evil as well. So just a wasted flash from Reignover. The only downside for Fnatic now is the fact that Huni died, gave over first blood, and the lead to Unicorns of Love. And also, one more things happening. Chachi been able to get down and get his one-on-one lane. Sivir is only one level ahead of him, so he can't really slow him too much. So Unicorns responding as well, and now finally getting farm on the top laner.
Unicorn's going to clear out that ward. Vizichachi with flash available. Bebevin not yet level 6. Getting close, and he will get spotted out. So that roam from the Unicorns of Love does not pay off. With 6 minutes on the clock, with Steel back in the bottom lane, and the fact that Fnatic, once they get access to the ultimates, should be a very scary early to mid-game team fight. You have to feel they're going to set their sights on Dragon.
Yeah, look what Unicorns are doing though to try and stop that from happening. First blood went over to Vardax, so he recalls very early on because he has enough for the BF sword. By him recalling, you force Steelbike to do the same. If Steelbike stays in the lane and try and push it into the tower over and over, he comes back, or well, he meets Vardax in the lane with a Doran's Blade against a BF sword. That's not a fair trade. So by him recalling and going bottom lane, Steelbike had to do the same, could only pick up a pickaxe because he didn't get the first blood gold. So that's a very, very smart move from Unicorns to now get the 2v2 control exactly like they did in the last game. And this should also make it harder for Fnatic to set up that Dragon, at least just uncontested, because the Lucian will be able to trade so effectively with a Sivir.
Well, we'll find out if Unicorns can set it up. Before that can happen, though, Kikis is going to move his way to Huni. Remember, Huni's got no flash. Vizichachi does. Is he going to root him? He flashes into place. The flash comes forward from Kikis in reply. Huni's in trouble. The sapling's going to slow him. Huni's got 300 hit points, 100 hit points. He should be going down. He does start to overheat. His Kikis is going to be getting the kill. Flail of the Northern Wind spinning. 0-2-0. And it was Vizichachi that was camped earlier that allowed Fnatic to win. Now Unicorns are getting revenge by camping Huni.
Yeah, and you can do this when you know your other lanes are doing just fine. Farmfest in the mid lane, an advantage for you on the bottom side, so you can go for these ganks against the Rumble with no flash, no wards either from Huni being placed. Very, very good start for Unicorns of Love. Chachi, the man who was denied at first, turned it around, decided, you know what? Huni's not going to get any farm either. And by them just almost trading even by not getting anything, Unicorns have managed to turn it into their favor with this AD carry back in the first spot. So smart of them to swap the lanes around now.
I'm still waiting to see how this Dragon battle turns out, Deficio. It is the deciding game, and Fnatic do have the slight edge. They've secured 9 dragons this series, whereas Unicorns of Love have secured 7. The thing is, it's always been the team that's in control that has dictated who's getting those dragons, and we'll see whether or not that early BF Sword on Vardags will be enough to overcome what will eventually be the on-the-hunt equalizer empowered team fights from Fnatic. Like clockwork, they're setting it up.
Talked about the dragon. What Unicorns of Love is doing is just pushing one lane, the bottom lane here, try and keep them on the tower, and then they started. Fnatic can react to this one. Problem is, Reignover is out of mana and on the red buff. Had he been ready for it, at least, they could have collapsed 4 members and taken the fight. This does mean Unicorn secured him. I'm even lying to you because I didn't see the TP disadvantage for Huni.
Just TP
so no matter what, Unicorns would secure that dragon, and just really smart play. Good setup early on.
That all came from that early back from Vardags and Hylissang.
It did indeed, Trevor. We have to see with the Rumble.
Febiven wants blood.
He wants the Raptor.
He just wants the Raptor. He wants Raptor blood. There we go.
Yeah.
Rumble is the middle ground.
Rumble is one of those champions, though. Even if you do shut him down, he needs so little gold to be efficient or effective with the Horning guys, and basically just upgrade your boots and you're good to go in a fight. So it's not like Huni's out of the game. It's just been a good way of creating a lead for Unicorns and try and dodge around these mid-game dragons, because what could have happened was Fnatic would just play standard, get that dragon because they were so much stronger early on, and then go towards the 5 before Unicorns could react in time and force them into these bad trades. Getting that first one stops that, or at least delays it for a long time.
Wow, take a look at the items, Deficio. We're approaching 10 minutes, and Steelback, after swapping to that bottom lane, he's picked up 2 long swords very early on. We do see a needs large rod for Febiven in that middle lane as he eats a shockwave but lands a charm. They're trading ignites. Actually, no, it is just Febiven that eats an ignite. Now Kickis, Glacial Prison is available. He throws it down. Reignover is in range. There goes the equalizer. That's a good one. Kickis is in trouble. Challenging Spite. The barrel's going to knock him against the wall, and Fnatic will get their first kill of the fight. It is Reignover that secures a kill credit. Kickis and Chachi, they don't have the most damage. I think we're hoping to find a lone Huni.
We did see the power, at least, of the Rumble and some of the early damage that Gragas can provide despite being a center hold tank. Early game is not terrible for him. Nice setup and nice counter game. Meanwhile, that bot tower as well, because Vardags went for Dragon and then back to base. It was open. It was obviously very low from before in the 2v1 lane swap. But man, Steelback is gonna be delayed in terms of his builds. That Infinity Edge is so delayed. He might just try and go for Brutalizer, farm up for BF Sword then, and aim for Ghostblade as the second item, which definitely is not what he prefers to do. He's one of those AD carries who always aim to get Phantom Dancer over Static Shift as well, and just have as much single target damage as possible in these team fights. That is gonna be very delayed.
We also see Febiven opting to go for that Luden's Echo first item. He really wants to put Fnatic on his back and find those solo kills. Febiven has just been such a breakout player for Fnatic all year long. He's had a brilliant impact regardless of the champion he's playing, whether it's Assassin or Mage, and he just seems to have such a good impact on the game. You could argue probably more consistent than Power of Evil, but equally as important for his team.
I agree in that one, but if you do look at playoffs, I will have to give credit to Power of Evil as well for being on his game, honestly. There's been very few games in the playoffs where we said, oh, Power Wheel, he's underperforming here. I definitely do agree in the regular split, however. He had his bad games, and that was where Unicorns of Love seemed to always rely on him doing well. It's been different in the playoffs. There's been more players stepping up as carries than just Power of Evil, even though he's been the shining star on the team. Like Hylissang, just to name one of them. His plays.
Glacial Prison. Will it connect? The answer will be Smithy. Sorry, no. Febiven able to Spirit Rush away. He actually goes aggressive. Hylissang jumps in, unable to get that Winter's Bite down. Febiven still got that charge of Spirit Rush. Let's be honest, Febiven dodged it.
Yeah.
Not Kickis missed it.
Good reaction time on the ulti. I'm not sure if he spotted Kickis coming out from it, but at least he saw the ulti fly in the air. Jumps away, didn't want to take any chances. No dragon is alive, so they're just trying to contest some of the early vision here with no bot lane tower. For Unicorns of Love, you always have to expect that the enemy AD carry want to go to your mid lane and start pushing it in. Orianna is one of those champions who can hold it for a long time though. So Unicorns does have some freedom in that regard compared to, let's say, Kassadin from the last game of Fnatic where you just left completely useless defending.
So even on gold, Dragon spawning in a minute and a half. Take a look at the itemization for Steelback. He actually went for that BF sword. Deficio did not complete the Brutalizer. Was able to farm up enough.
Yeah. So this, like when it comes to AD carry builds, it's so much about how much gold do you have when you back. Like how do you time your backs? With him at least getting enough for BF sword, he obviously says, okay, I don't need a Brutalizer now. I'll get the item I was aiming for in the first place. So good save for Steelback. Important that they've gotten a tower for him and quite some farm.
Chachi's in trouble. Chachi's been bullied around by Huni this entire time they've been top. It hasn't affected his CS yet, but every time we look top, Chachi is just trying to farm up from underneath his own tower. Huni is relentless at pushing those minions in.
Looking for the dive. Ulti is ready for Huni. They see the Unicorns and Love guys on the bottom side. Might just say, let's save the ulti and everything for the Dragon and take that fight, which should be in our favor if we look at the comms. And that seems to be the strategy. No reason to take the chance. Go for that dive, invest everything. Instead, roam down. Be ready to contest the vision because Unicorns have gotten here first. Set up a few good wards. They don't really have a whole lot of pick potential on their side. Kikis, though, he's just charging in.
He has found Steelback in Yellow Star. Kikis has got Glacial Prison available. He's going to lock them both up. Look at the backline. Febovitz creating a ruckus. Teleport from Vizicachi comes down. Yellow Star does get dropped by Vizicachi's vengeful Maelstrom. Now Fardax and Power of Evil on the right side of an equalizer. Shockwave gets the carries as Fardax secures his first kill. Now we see Hylissang trying to get away. Fardax in full retreat. He throws out the Light Slinger. Auto attacks going out. Fardax is dropped. It's Steelback that gets the kill. He was shut down earlier and Hylissang throws up that unbreakable shield. Febovitz looking for more. He's going to get the speed boost from that Orb of Deception. Lands the charm and Fnatic gets 4 kills on the board for what I believe was the cost of 2.
Yeah, Unicorns here, they were trying to create a pick before Fnatic could set up a team fight. They went into the jungle at first and it looked okay with Kikis, but notice behind here, Power of Evil gets jumped by Febovitz, so he's not there with the rest of his team. Fardax joins him, and now it's just a Fnatic show. It's a good shockwave from Power of Evil, but he goes down, and Unicorns Aloft are not able to escape. Fnatic gets a lot of kills for this one, and that was exactly why they didn't dive to top lane, because they wanted that team fight.
Well played by Fnatic. Dragon
get another
still
one.
Not secured. They do get the hook onto Vizicachi. He throws down the Maelstrom. Rainover throws his body slam in. There's no Glacial Prism from Kikis, so he's unable to do anything more. What other ultimates are available? The Fisher not there either. It's all going to be on the Shockwave, and Unicorns of Love. They got the first Dragon. They're going to give this one up after they lost their primary tank. Fnatic arrest control in the deciding battle, securing their first Dragon of Game 5.
That last little fight here, Unicorns of Love should have accepted that Dragon was gone and just take the top tower instead. The tower is very low, they had minions already pushing in. What you need to do when you have the scaling comp and you're not in a good position to fight is you just give up those dragons, because you got the first one. You know there's a high chance of Fnatic killing you if you go in there, and you just take a tower on the other side of the map, because you benefit so much from the gold. That's why they're called late game carries, because they need the gold to be very effective. So for Unicorns here, by going down and taking another one, they didn't really gain any advantage, and also lost the dragon. So that was a misplay from them. And Fnatic using it to get the goal lead. Kikis will find Yellow Star again. And obviously this top tower is still very low if Unicorns does decide to group on it.
I think a little bit of praise to Kikis for that one. His counter ganks in game 3 of the series were actually he was counter ganked excessively, and he's not necessarily been in place to respond to as many ganks. I think this has been a story of junglers finding weaknesses in their opponent's map play. Unicorns, they find themselves a small amount of gold down as we approach 20 minutes. For Fnatic, you have to wonder, is it enough of a lead considering how good Orianna, Maokai, and Sejuani will continue to grow? Something you always talk about, Deficio. If you fall a little bit behind in that Maokai, you sit on the catalyst and just go tanky items.
Yeah, it's not your job to start fights. You are more reacting to whatever the other team is doing, and you're mainly focusing on kiting back anyway. So just skipping the Righteous Glory for a moment and get some tanky stats can be very, very good for you to at least tank something for your team. Huni has gone straight Hourglass. He must have had the goal for it when he went back. No magic penetration yet, despite being against the Maokai in lane and also the 2 tanks, or 3 tanks even with the Braum from the Unicorns of Love. It's obviously going to come in next. Does make him a bit safer, but the penetration is so important for Rumble in the early game. And while Fnatic 2k gold ahead, you can say Unicorns, it's not looking terrible in that sense. They can still sit back and farm up, and that's what they want to do. We have to remember the mid game is far from over. There's still a long time where Fnatic, composition-wise, will be stronger.
Fnatic are going to be able to defend this mid tower. Still 2 towers to 0 as Unicorns unable to push any of their respective lanes in. Get any sort of presence in that area. Steelback and Bardax both sitting with their Infinity Edges and with 3 kills and 2 assists as well as tower gold. Steelback is in fact ahead. However, it does look like he's going to be going towards that Ghostblade. So that mid-game power of Sivir is going to get exemplified even more with the Ghostblade.
Will be a lot weaker late though. So once again, it's about the mid-game for Fnatic. It's super annoying as an AD carry to pop your Ghostblade and then see a Sejuani and a Maokai just fly in your face and be like, yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot.
Kikis will be looking to do that over and over. His ultimates in the previous game were absolutely fantastic. We do see that Haunting Guys completed now for Huni. 122 CS, is up at opposite number 128. And the respective teams just settling into slightly extended laning phase. We did see Febiven pushing up the top lane, and Unicorns have been able to defend their middle outer turrets.
Yeah.
But there's not really been like pressure or focus from Fnatic on that lane yet. Oh.
Win over.
Almost.
Well, what Fnatic is doing is just splitting out and making sure all the carries can get farmed. Rumble gets farmed bottom lane, Sivir gets farmed mid lane, and Ahri gets farmed top lane. There's no real reason for them to group just yet. What they're waiting for is the dragon to spawn. Once it comes alive, expect Febiven to move down from the top lane, sit with his team to create a pick before dragon even spawns. With the early vision, they're most likely going to set up from Fnatic, because that's why you want Ahri with your team. She's so good at catching out targets who has to basically face check you, because they won't have the ward down. You're sitting on a ping, you charm, you just one-shot that one target with the rest of your team, and dragon is yours. So you can push out the top lane once more and then start roaming down. He's gotten the farm he needs. He's already gone back to his, I mean, look at his items. Large rods, second one for him with the Luden's Echo already completed. His damage is absolutely insane. So look at him here on the minimap. Gonna move all the way down, and then Fnatic can start creating some picks. Unicorns of Love have no business to do around that dragon. They should just step away, be happy with the farm they're gonna get in these side lanes. Meanwhile, Febiven might even wait a little bit. But if there's any chance of Unicorns fighting, he's gonna be there with his team.
We have to keep our eyes on that one. Bardax just shoves the wave into Huni's waiting hands. He's deciding to back. Gonna spend a little bit of gold. Got himself around 400. Should pick up a pair of boots. Some mobility in place if a fight were to break out. Does have teleport available, and for Unicorns, the Scuttle Crab is going to help them out. But look at Febiven's positioning. Fnatic know the timer is almost there, and Unicorns investing so much into vision.
Yeah.
To try to avoid that blind pick face check scenario.
I would really have preferred from Fnatic to go into that dragon a minute earlier. Timed your backs correctly so you didn't have to recall 30 seconds before it even spawns, and you would be the one sitting with these wards here and the pick potential of the Ahri. Now you might have to take a straight on 5-on-5 team fight. You are still very, very strong, but it makes it a little bit harder for you at least, instead of just creating that one easy pick, or even just force Unicorns completely away from the dragon in the first place, and you secure it. Febiven, we'll see that Unicorns are here, and now they're trying to contest for the wards.
Huni's pushing top lane. Teleport is available because Achachi plus Bardax have rejoined the rest of their team. Power of Evil using that dissonance to get movement speed and try threaten Yellow Star's positioning. They've actually started the dragon.
So risky for Unicorns.
Let's look for the teleport. Where is it coming? Unicorns have decided to bail away. Teleport comes onto the middle lane for Huni, and Febiven continues to play the flank. look for the ultimates.
Unicorns have to fight as a unit together, so if they get flanked, it's very easy for Fnatic to split them up and just single them out with the Ahri here. You gotta stay with your big tanks if you're the carries for Unicorns, and you cannot do that if you cannot protect your sides.
While Unicorns are investing into the Dragon, Depjon catches 3! The Equalizer melts Unicorns of Love! The Flame Spit is destroying. Vardex is in full retreat, but the Orbit Deception gets one. Shockwave only connects to Rainover, and Power of Evil is down. Fnatic convincingly win the team fight. 4 kills, the mid turret, and they're gonna get the bottom inner turret as well.
A wise man once said, don't fight dragons against a rumble. We just saw why. That ulti from Huni started the whole thing, and then just a collapse from 2 different sides. There was nothing Unicorns could do. And the worst thing is, they don't have to fight those dragons. They don't have to start them. They want to wait, trade. That top tower is still standing up there on 10% HP. That should have been your focus. Gold, not dragons. Just look at it again. I mean, what do you expect him to do? Orianna has an Athene's and we're blasting one here, so she gets knocked up at first. And look at the damage from Fnatic. Everything just piled onto Unicorns, and they have to run instantly. Nothing they could do in return.
Fnatic deconstruct everything about the Unicorns of Love. Unicorns still yet to get a tower on the board, and they are now 5,000 gold down. They now need to do to Fnatic what Unicorns did to SK. That is pull off a miracle.
Shockwave to Baron. It will happen. Fnatic always goes for these early Barons here. If they think you're out of position, they place a ping on it, they start it. And then it's up to the Unicorns to react in time and not be caught in the engage of Fnatic.
Unicorns did set their sights on that top tower. A little too late, maybe. And defensive play from Fnatic means Unicorns unable to secure that objective. Instead, they peel back to the middle lane, continue trying to farm their way up. 4-0-5 on Steelback Sivir. Ghostblade Eye-Edge, pickaxe, and about 1,000 gold to spend still.
It's fun to see how important Sivir has been in this final here, because the team who had it were always able to pick a more mid-game focus comp and then just force team fights whenever someone were too slow at scaling, and you never got to the point where you could really fight back. Both teams have been very good at closing out the games, except for maybe the game 3 of Fnatic where they were taking a little bit easy. Apart from that, they have kept it very safe but secure.
I also think it's just a lot of props to Fnatic.
It is.
Bouncing back from a honestly heartbreaking loss to Unicorns in game 4. Picking a team composition with maybe a soft cap on its scaling and the time limit of effectiveness, but just playing around their strengths so well and punishing Unicorns of Love.
Yeah.
When Unicorns have presented a target, Fnatic have hit a bullseye and destroyed the Unicorns.
And that's exactly why a comp like this never really stops being effective. Because the carries will never be tanky enough to sit in a Rumble ulti when there's a Nautilus ulti coming in as well. Like that engage potential from Fnatic will always be there, no matter how far into the game we get. The way Unicorns can win the late game one is instead if they teamfight as a unit together with the 2 tanks in front, and then when engage happens, they back away, they kite back, they get out of the Rumble ulti, and then they can start turning around because they have so much consistent damage from Orianna, from Lucian late game, with 2 Cinderhulk, or sorry, with 1 Cinderhulk and 1 Maokai, to just prolong the fights. But Fnatic will never hit a point where they can't win. If they manage to land their ultis correctly, they will melt someone from Unicorns of Love.
Well, we did see some blue pings onto Baron Deficio. Fnatic maybe setting their sights on it. Unicorns have got decent wards around, but for Fnatic in their strong lead, where will they want to force a team fight? They've got more engage power from Rainover with Righteous Glory. They've got Yellow Star. He's picked himself up that locket, so any of the burst that's going to come out from Power of Evil is going to be significantly affected thanks to that locket. Fnatic, as you said, have got all the tools to play with.
Top side of the map is the focus for Fnatic. It's where the 2 tier 2 towers are still alive. They've already started a push in the bottom lane. And as always, when you control that jungle, You get to time the minion waves when you want to rotate through the jungle very quickly, force the other team to go back to base and all the way around their inhibitors if they want to move between the tier 2 towers. So you can move faster through the jungle. That gives you some damage on towers. You can even catch them out if they try and face check you in that jungle, and you have that Baron threat, which is what Fnatic want at this point. Unicorns needs to send down the Maokai to clear this wave out before it becomes a problem, unless they want to sacrifice the whole thing to the tower.
Kikis is in trouble. Yellowstone Rainover got in, but it's Unicorns that have turned it around. Look at the backline. Vardax almost gets soloed out by Featherfin. We do see that it is eventually going to be some kills onto Unicorns of Love. They've lost Vardax. They've lost Hillisang. They've lost Kikis. And Featherfin is the only reply so far. Fnatic find Unicorns in their jungle. And Yellowstar can taste his 4th LCS split title. Fnatic on the inner top lane turret, and there's nothing the Unicorns can do.
And I really like the fact he swapped away from Leona to the Nautilus, because when you're against the Lucian, he wants to jump around. You can dodge that Leona ulti. You cannot dodge the ulti from a Nautilus. It's gonna follow you, it's gonna knock you up. And Fnatic just has so many ways of getting to that backline of Unicorns of Love, the 2 damage dealers. Look at also at the vision here. 10 green wards in the jungle, 4 pink wards around the Baron. They're gonna go straight back to it unless they want to go and take a dragon first and just keep setting up around that Baron, keep forcing Unicorns to either sit back in the base, give it up for free, or get into bad team fights. How do you fight a fed Rumble in the jungle when there's also an AoE of a Sivir, of an Ahri? I mean, you can't. There's nothing for Unicorns around that Baron they can do.
Kikis is now being teleported on from Huni. There's no equalizer available. A little bit preemptive maybe, but he's very, very far ahead. 30 minutes. Fnatic are just going to play the baiting game.
You already have the vision, so yeah, why even go Dragon in the first place? Smart move from Fnatic here. If Unicorns try to trade it, well, that was fine as well. It's a second Dragon, I mean, who cares? So Fnatic just controlling it completely. Once again, bottom lane is pushing for them up. Top lane is pushing mid lane. Tier 2 is open. And Fnatic says now, okay, let's just secure that easy objective at least. But they don't want to give up all these pinks here. It's very important they defend the pink wards in the river, because that's what creates the whole pressure. So just send down a few guys to do Dragon. Rest can defend the river.
Official, it is hunting season, and Fnatic are hunting mythical beasts. They have got every single advantage needed to shut this game out. But they need to be decisive. They cannot afford to play like they did in Game 2 and give the Unicorns time to scale. Fnatic, as you said, as long as they combo their ultimates, they can win, but you need to play.
It gets harder and harder for sure.
Exactly, and that's the risk. That's the risk you play if you play passive. But let's be honest, they're not. This is not the same Game 2 Fnatic. And
really
there's proof of it.
Well played from them.
Power of Evil showed bottom lane. Fnatic instantly put some damage onto the Baron, but they peel away. They're not fully committing.
As long as they stay around it, Unicorns is forced to do the same. Now it's been started. This is what we've been talking about. Nobody's moving yet. Yellowstar is trying to zone away in the bush just behind the red buff.
It's gone.
This Baron
it's too late.
Is going down so fast. There you go.
Well played by Fnatic. Hillisang, stand behind me, jumps onto Vizichachi, forced to flash over to the Krugs camp. Now Rainover and Yellowstar looking for more. The Command Protect goes under the tree, but it's not going to be enough. Kikis, Power of Evil, and Vardax join the rest of the Unicorns. But they now have to face a Baron-empowered Fnatic squad.
Power of Evil did pull the shockwave, but he wasn't even close to the Baron for himself this time. Time is running out for the Unicorns of Love.
Time has run out, Deficio.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Fnatic can just continue to strangle the life out of the Challenger squad. The number 5 seed coming into the playoffs, memory serves. I believe Gambit was above them. They made it to the finals for the first time ever. First time upsetting the number 1 seed of SK. And that was also miracle Baron steal. Fnatic are doing to Unicorns what Unicorns did to them in Game 4. It is just
the whole
flawless execution.
The whole playoffs. This was a team that went 9-9 in the split. And every week was the same talking point. They are so inconsistent. One day they win in 25 minutes. The next day they lose to MYM, who ended up being relegated. It was so hard to say What is the playstyle of Unicorns of Love? How good are they? So they faced Gambit in the first one, 3-0 after losing the first game. Beat SK Gaming in the final. Everyone loves them, the name, everything. So despite them being behind now and looking very, very bad in this game, it's still been one hell of a season for Unicorns of Love.
That is for sure. We'll see whether or not they can find any magic left in the tank. How deep does their trough go? Fnatic take their 6th tower of the game, the last inner turret. There are only inhibitor turrets remaining. Kikis has set up from behind.
Whoa!
He manages to catch
Whoa!
a 3-man
No way!
They do get Featherfin before he can get anyone down. The Power of Evil loses his life. It's mid laner for mid laner. What can Vardax do? He's forced away from the team fight, and Steelback is just too far ahead. He chops down the tree of Pizachachi, and Fnatic take the inhibitor turret. They will get the inhibitor as well. Unicorns had a little bit of magic, but it was not enough. And Fnatic crack open the Unicorns base.
Yeah, but that was like the best kind of engage for the Unicorns, and it wasn't enough. I can't wait to see that again. Kikis sneaking in behind. 3-man ulti. Featherfin, Steelback, Yellowstar. Everything poured onto them. And yet Fnatic can still turn it around and win the fight.
Baron plus 10k at Officio. That's what it looks like when you fight 4v5. Unicorns of Love, they're not done yet. Pizachachi's running in. He's not going to find anybody, though.
Trying to get a tower.
This is the first of the game. 35 minutes on the clock. There are some minions pouring behind, but Fnatic, they're not giving this one up. Kikis, look at the damage from the Boomerang Blade. Steelback's got that Bloodthirster completed along with the last Whisper on the Hunt throne. They want to defend the tower, but the minions will secure it. Hylissang in full retreat. Pizachachi goes forward. Featherfin this time round. That is a 4-man prison, but there's no
Look at the Rumble!
Here comes Rumble. Equalizer is available. He throws it down on Vardax and Kikis. Pizachachi is down. Vardax is down. Hylissang is down, and the Unicorns
Shockwave!
Shockwave catches, but it's not going to be enough. Pizachachi, well, the Kikis will be the next to fall, and Power of Evil is the last man standing. Super minions are inside the base of the Unicorns of Love, and Fnatic, they're pushing forward. They have 30 seconds on the clock, and they might be closing it out now.
And what a great game from Fnatic here, playing it so well from the early game, and the way they adapted in the pick and ban phase. First pick Sivir, meaning it's so hard to play scaling comps because you force these fights. Another kill.
Power of Evil is down. There are no Unicorns left. There is no magic to believe in. Fnatic are the 4-time champions of the European LCS. They're pushing on the next.
Wait for it.
It's happening again. It's happening again. Let's get back in it.
Too early.
Oh, just did it again. They've defended the Nexus, or maybe not. Vardax is turning his attention to Rainova. We've never played the victory music and had to turn it off until the Unicorns made it to the final. Rainova is looking for Vardax. Challenging Smite was there, and we are back.
All right, let's see what the Unicorns can do. Everyone thought it was over.
This is unprecedented.
They're still 10k gold behind, but every kill matters for them. Vardax, 6 kills on the Lucian, will get a mid tower as well. They need that inhibitor to respawn. Baron is up in 140. That's going to be the next big one. Fnatic can set up once again. They might be able to get 2 towers for the Unicorns of Love. That's a lot of gold suddenly picked up. Featherfin is here with ulti. They have to respect him.
Continues to look for more. There's the equalizer. Pizachachi will go down. 4 members of Unicorns now need to defend. He should secure a dragon here. Spirit Rush was used. Baron is up in 1 minute and 20.
And now it's back to defend your Nexus. 4v5, 30 seconds more.
When this happened in week 8, Unicorns defended it multiple times. We're now doing it in week 12, in the final, in game 5.
Okay, Fnatic, go into the top side jungle, place your wards once again, set up for that Baron, and force Unicorns to come and face check you. You will get almost a guaranteed kill from the Ari Charm. She's so fed still. Steelback as well on the Sivir. You have so much damage. Featherfin is gonna push back the bottom lane. That opens up for Unicorn to set up around the Baron and suddenly avoid this pick here. Pick potential at least.
Every single person on the floor is on their feet. The Cinderella story. The Cinderella that turned her glass shoe into a weapon and threw it at anybody hitting a Nexus. Fnatic should still win. Fnatic should close this out. But they hadn't done it twice before. The only team that beat Fnatic 2-0 in the regular split was Unicorns of Love. And is that seed of doubt inside Fnatic's mind?
Look at the wards Kikis just placed. This ping ward inside the Baron pit will not spot the one just outside here. So they will see Fnatic if they start it, and Fnatic has to place a ping outside or use the sweeper to clear these two wards. So at least they can see if Fnatic is stunning it or if they're waiting in the jungle to pick off the Unicorns of Love.
Don't take the bait and chase Yellow Star this time. The rest of Unicorns a little split up. Power and Kikis moving through the red buff area of their jungle. Hylissang lands the Winter's Bite. Nobody to follow. Kikis is caught out. He's trying to look for a team fight. Death Sentence connects onto Hylissang though. That's not who they want. Where's the Glacial Prison? That's what we're looking for. Fish is available as well. Equalizer knocks everyone backward. Shockwave doesn't manage to get, but look at the prison. Where is Varnix? He's down. Fnatic are on the game-winning team fight. They managed to get 4. They looked at Vizicachi. It is an ace. Fnatic will now push under the Nexus. The death timers are too high, and the magic from Unicorns has finally run out.
Such a good team fight again from Fnatic here. They just piled on the Power of Evil. He didn't even get to ulti 40 minutes in on an Orianna.
Fnatic have an uncontested Nexus, and they will finally win the spring split. For the 4th time in 5 splits since the LCS began, Fnatic are the champions. And that man on your screen, on the left-hand side, Yellow Star, is the only 4-time winner. Rebuilding Fnatic
and what an
after the
achievement.
departure of Expeke and Soaz, an amazing, Cyanide rather. Yellow Star and Fnatic. There are no better Kings of Europe.
It's just a fantastic, with the way they built this new lineup, the scouting and everything. 2 Koreans coming in, Steelback from Challenger scene, February from H2K, young players. And then they go in and they perform so well over the entire split and win the whole thing in the end. Of course, we had to go to Game 5. But what a Game 5 as well.
We had to go to Game 5. We had to have a Nexus defense. I've never heard the victory music have to get cancelled. Unicorns, they baited us. They baited us.
They did.
But the number 2 seed from the spring split once again wins the spring finals. Fnatic did it last year, placing behind SK and then beating them. He did it this year, and Fnatic will represent Europe at the mid-season invitational. Europe's hopes to redeem themselves onto the international stage now rest on Yellow Star's army and on his shoulders.
4 young guys. I just think it's very important people remember how many rookies we have in this split. Coming in as fantastic players, new talent, new blood. I mean, Unicorns of Love, you can never predict what's about to happen, and that story. So for us as a region, as long as these guys keep improving and the teams keep improving, it's gonna look good. It might not be right now, but I believe in Fnatic when it comes to MSI. I think they as a team can go in and pull off some upsets.
We will have to see. I'd like to believe in some European pride, and you know what? They can dig deep. Not a single member of Fnatic has cracked under the pressure. Game 5 performances, both times they've needed to step up and close a game out, they have. They didn't need a miracle steal. They didn't need a miracle from behind play. Last week against H2K, Fnatic managed to close it out. Today against UOL,
same kind of game.
Strong, similar game, strong advantage, strong style. Fnatic know what they do, and they do it bloody well.
And it all comes from adapting in the pick and ban phase. Realizing, okay, our bans are fine, but we have to take a different first pick. Sivir, important. Nautilus came in, Rumble. It was all there. We all talked about it. And it worked so well because it allowed them to simply force the fights on the Unicorns of Love, who also showed for them they weren't, what should we say, passive enough?
Yeah.
They felt like they could go for some fights. It wasn't in their favor, and that's also why they end up losing the game in Game 5. But the fact they even go to that far.
There's two quotes that define the Unicorns of Love. The first is consistently inconsistent, which you said and we will continue to say. The second was coined by Shox. Unicorns do not have a pause button. It's either stop or go. There is no middle ground. Today they were in full go in Game 5 when they needed to be in stop. And that dragon fight at, what was it, 16, 17, 80 minutes or so, just cost so much for the Unicorns. But I think we have to praise Fnatic.
For sure.
They had the team comp that had to make plays. They made the plays. They punished UOL. And very importantly, this time around, the godlike Nexus did not stop them.
No. They knew they could still win this game. I mean, again, they're so far ahead despite not getting that Nexus down. The last team fight was an ace from them. I don't even think a single member died from Fnatic, so they kept it cool. And I also just love the fact that after losing Game 4, they still come on stage, they smile, they know it's okay. There's another game, it was a mistake. They maybe picked a wrong team composition, changed up everything, and then it just worked for them. So they are a team who has shown champion pool-wise, there's loads of different options for them. Raynova has shown even on tanky junglers, he can be aggressive early on. We know Yellow Star is fantastic. So the whole lineup really works for them. And if they do stick together, which I hope they do.
Why would you not?
That's the thing. See what you can do now also in the summer split, because again, for Huni, he's still learning to communicate.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get better from here if you look at the players.
You step back and you look at our playoffs. We have been gifted with some phenomenal games. The last 4 best-of-5 series have all gone to 5 games in Europe.
Yeah.
And they've all been ridiculous because
I think that's fair to say.
There has been miracle plays, there has been mistakes, there's been swings in control, there's been stomps. Like, we've had everything. And even today, Game 1 started with a mid lane Varus. And won.
Why not?
And won. Yeah. Solo queue beware.
Yeah, solo queue players hate the Unicorns a lot. Because of all these things they managed to pull out. We also saw the other side when you pull out Elise in top lane.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't work, so...
Smite TP top, really not a big thing. We will be setting up for a winners interview shortly, guys, so please stick with us. We will be chatting to some of the members of Fnatic just in a moment or two. But what a great season. I think if anybody were to be given a title, which is something we don't often do, Yellow Star deserves the title of General Yellow Star. He built a unit from the ground up, importing talent from different locations, from different places, and he's done something unprecedented. building a team up from the ground up. But we'll have to see what he has to say, because we will be joining both Yellowstar and Huni on stage.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. I am, of course, joined by team captain Yellowstar and the rookie of the split, Huni, after their huge Game 5 victory to take the spring split. First of all, gentlemen, congratulations on your victory. Thank you for joining us. But let's get right down to it. Yellowstar, you have built this team up. Everyone said that this was a completely different Fnatic squad at the beginning of the split. No one had any idea how you guys would perform. This is your 4th victory here on the LCS stage. How is it different this time around with a whole new squad around you?
Well, first of all, I have no words, because I cannot tell like how everyone is so motivated, so talented. I cannot stop repeating myself. And you know, like, hard work always pays. That's what I believe in. And then, you know, at the beginning of the finals, you could feel that even though we were ahead, we were committing mistakes because they were like so new. They were pressured and so many mistakes happened, but it's a really good experience for us. And I'm really happy that I could calm down the spirit and I could lead them to the victory. And, you know, shot calling and stuff, it was kind of messy, but I still believe that we'll improve. So it's going to be great in the future.
And it's great now. I mean, you guys have done a miraculous thing. You have been able to take it all the way. Everyone always says, everyone beats everyone, then Fnatic wins. Well, you proved it true this time around. But Huni, I want to talk to you because you are the rookie here. You are the rookie of the split. Coming in, you have just won the European LCS, your first time in it. How does that feel?
I'm really happy because this time is first my professional player. So I'm really happy because when I was in Korea, I'm started amateur player, but I'm directly come here and then I do professional League of Legends player. So it's really happy, and then I can explain.
I can understand being at lost words. Absolutely. Now, the crowd still loves you guys 100% of the way. Another question to you, Yellowstar. Going into MSI now, you guys will be on the road in Tallahassee, Florida, representing Europe and, of course, Fnatic. You guys may have had a bit of a chip on your shoulder after last year's Worlds performance. How do you think Europe and your team now will stack up against the teams that are going to the mid-season invitational?
So I believe that is going to be another great experience, but at the same time, last year we had All-Stars and I felt like we were a bit quite disappointed to play against the teams, and we want to represent Europe better this time, so I hope we'll perform. And I really hope that we'll fix our issues to even come back stronger.
Stronger than ever before. Now, Huni, who would you like to face? There's still a lot of teams that are trying to vie for that mid-season invitational. Who do you want to play against?
I'm not sure, but I want again versus NA team because I want to show Euro LCS is better than NA LCS.
You heard it right here. EU better than NA, guys. Last question, Yellowstar. I just want to ask you, you have an amazing outpouring of support from the fans. Would you like to say anything to them?
Hola, es la primera vez que hablo en español en público. Y hoy estoy muy feliz, no porque acabamos de ganar la final. Pero quiero decir algo más importante, es que los mejores fans del mundo.
They are indeed. Well said, Yellowstar. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Congratulations again on your win, and best of luck at MSI. With that, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the analyst desk to wrap up this amazing LCS European Spring Split.
Thank you so much, Pyra. What a sweet touch there from Yellowstar in the end, talking a couple of words in Spanish as well. Fantastic. And well, Huni's saying we'll show that EU is greater than NA. We'll see the NA final, C9 versus TSM right after this, so guys, stick around as well. Let's not go in too deep into Game 5 because it was just a fantastic series, and in the end, Fnatic showed that also in standard play, they are better than the Unicorns, and what a fantastic series it was for them, and the right winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Fnatic showed up that and to be fair, going into the series, I would have expected this to go like this, because if both teams go with a standard tactic and a standard composition, then Fnatic should have gone ahead. So Unicorns tried their best to throw them over. Unicorns showed everything. They showed some cheese. They showed some standard meta picks. They won some games, and they brought an awesome 5-game series. They are deserving finalists of this LCS Spring Split. So, yeah, hats up to them, and hats up, of course, to Fnatic.
Leviathan, I want to ask you, the fact that Fnatic with 4 rookies and Unicorns, a challenger team coming into their first split, can do this well, this must instill a tiny bit of fear in the teams that are now in the European LCS with some of the players that have been around for so long, and Origin coming in as well.
Yeah, I wanted to give a big shout a big shout out to the management back end of a Fnatic, Dale, like the coach and manager, Daler and Ispa, doing an amazing job with the team. Yes, all props to Yellowstar for finding the players, but just the back end doing a really good job as well. And it just shows that a team can come in and even with a whole new roster, take down the entire split. So with Origin coming in, with all the young talent we have in LCS right now, it's really exciting, and I can't wait for the next split.
And on the same token, Unicorns of Love also had a great organization behind them. I got a little bit of confetti here, which may exemplify the magic that goes with the Unicorns of Love. If they can get a lot more of this with what they've showed already, they're gonna go far. But now, across today's games, one player did more than their fair share. They helped put Fnatic back on top in EU. We're very excited to see him play on the international stage at MSI with an 81% kill participation. Our MVP of the Springs Finals is Reignover, the jungler for Fnatic, and the Fisho. He set up so much on Rek'Sai and Gragas.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the guy wasn't even banned out in one of the games. He just went for Gragas and showed, you know what, it's not the champion, it's the player. Reignover, all split long, has been so good early game, and also his team fighting ability is fantastic. So having him as a jungler basically secures your lanes, and it means if we want to get Huni fed, well, we know Reignover is going to go up there and make sure it happens.
Yeah, the perfect synergy that Reignover has with his solo lanes is just amazing. Throughout the whole split, he set the pace for the Fnatic team, and he's a deserving MVP. 80% kill participation, doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, and this guy does exactly what you want you to do, exactly what you want your jungler to do on your team. He controls the pace of the game. He plays all the either tanky jungler or aggressive jungler. Does exactly what you want. Just an amazing player.
Yeah, the whole team for Fnatic doing their part and bringing in that title. And with that win for Fnatic, we're halfway through the 2015 season and one step closer to World. So let's look at how the champion points stack up as of this moment. Fnatic, they lead the pack with 90 points, and the Unicorns of Love, they have already 70 points, and then we see the points there as well. So exciting to know that that is the road that is up ahead, and these teams have already clinched the points, but Fnatic in prime position, knowing that they can take a title and they have the most points, they're on a good way.
Oh, of course they are. I mean, 90 points almost guarantees you at least a spot in the regionals. I think it does, honestly, 100%. So even if they do have a bad summer split, they have a chance to redeem themselves in the regionals where they can try and make worlds anyway. That's why this spring split has been so important. And I'm just so happy to see that Gambit and Copenhagen Wolves as well sharing 10 points on there. It must feel amazing for you guys.
We're the 10-point brothers.
Yeah, the thing is, if at the beginning of the season, after the first couple of games, someone told me the Copenhagen Wolves will have 20 points less than SK, I say, I'd take it.
Sure.
Right, you are. Well, the summer split is right around the corner, and we'll start with the summer promotion tournament, where Giants will face Reason Gaming, and Roccat will go up against Copenhagen Wolves Academy to defend their seats in the LCS. No rest for the wicked. Just next week, no, in a couple of days, even on Saturday, we'll have those matchups. So mark your calendars. That all begins April 25th at 2 p.m. Central European Time, 5 a.m. Pacific, when we'll be bringing you both best of fives back-to-back with the help of the Unicorns of Love's coach Sheepy on the analyst desk. And like that, that's it. It's time to bring the spring split to a close. I'd like to thank Leviathan and Dentist, everyone who's helped here. You guys did a fantastic job. Hope you guys had fun. A special thanks to the city of Madrid, the fantastic fans that filled up the Palacio Vista Alegre. You guys were amazing. And don't go anywhere, we have more action. The North American LCS Spring Finals are about to start between Team Solo Mid and Cloud9 over at the LCS Studios in Los Angeles, California. It's a matchup that's always exciting, but before we kick it over, let's look back at our spring split.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from our brand new home here in Berlin, Germany. Shot. The third one gets a double kill. Forbidden, you are here.
Magic Diamond, Prox.
What is going on? Elements, they just high-fived into death here. Giants Gaming beat Elements. Oh my god.
Fnatic are taking down the Unicorns of Love. A few more hits. Oh, what? What?
No, it's not over. What?
I cannot understand this game.
H2K are going for the clean sweep. 3-0 in our first quarterfinal.
He gets a double kill with the unstoppable Roar of the Slayer. Hillesang plus Kikis are carrying Unicorns of Love to the semi-finals.
A triple kill over to steal back. Fnatic comes up with everything. It took them 5 games to do it, but they are going to the finals.
It is stolen! Power of Evil has kept Unicorns in the semi-finals. I think they've done it! Unicorns of Love! They are going to Madrid to face Fnatic!
H2K are the number 3 team in Europe.
Fisher, barrel of the finals! It goes to Kikis! The Unicorns of Love prove that they are magical!
Nice. Nice.
Go down. It's going to be tough. Power Evil is going to...
Power of Evil is obliterated! There are no unicorns left! There is no magic to believe in!